There we go. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Hope you're having a fabulous day. We have another beautiful guest here with us today. We have Isa Devi, and we are going to dive into all things Tantra again, because as you've been listening for the last few weeks, Tantra is quite I don't even know what to say, quite a vast explanation and description as to what Tantra is for everybody, because it is so many different pieces, and it is a tantric philosophy, right, that we're playing with. So there's so many different ways that we get to play with this philosophy. So Isa is a pleasure and tantric coach. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello, I'm glad
Excited.
you're here. So I wanted to, give you a moment to fully introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit more about you, who you are, what you do, before we dive in.
Okay, so I live in France, and I am a coach in female sexuality, and where I use tantra, and I am also a tantra facilitator. And recently, I've become also a tantric robe teacher, so I incorporate robes into tantra, which is really interesting.
Beautiful. Robes, like robes you put on?
No, like ropes, like shibari.
Robes like Shibari. Oh, so awesome. With the
Mm-hmm.
accent, I couldn't quite tell and pick up on the
Yeah.
continents there. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That is super yummy.
Mm.
Super yummy. Okay, well, thank you.
With tantra. Mm.
That is so brilliant. So yeah, I'd love to know a little bit more. What brought you into Tantra? What has been your journey? And let's even back it up a little bit. How do you define Tantra?
The question. Woo. Okay. What is tantra? For me, well, maybe I can talk about my story. So I was single. I've been single for most of my life. And when I discovered Tantra, I had been single for a long time. And I was really tired of having no sex life, no partner, because I had never been good at having just one night stand. So I discovered this practice where, with breath and movements and sound, you can actually awaken your sexual energy. You don't even need to touch yourself, and so you don't need a partner. And I realized, wow, it feels amazing. It's possible with my body. And I felt things I had never felt before. I felt fully alive, vibrant, and heart opening. And oh my God, it was so good. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna let that go. I want to go deeper into that. And so that really helped me while I was single to have no partner, but still have a great time expanding my capacity for pleasure.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think for me, Tantra is that it's this ability to awaken the sexual energy, the life force energy, and to and you don't need a partner. Of course, if you have a partner, then it's bonus and it's amazing to be able to move this energy together. But you can do it by yourself, just to move this, awaken this energy, and then move it so you can start to feel pleasure in places you didn't know you could feel pleasure in. So
Mhm.
for me, it's a lot about that. I mean, it has become a lifestyle since I've become a teacher, and I practice every now and then for myself, for my own sexual energy, to keep it vibrant and then explore new things. But I know there's also this spiritual aspect that I'm less embodying it, but it is there. I mean, it's this non-duality view on things that I also apply in my life, but I don't know. I feel that for me, Tantra is more this whole energetical, physical pleasure thing that I experience and explore more and more, and that I use in my coaching to help women feel more pleasure in their bodies. What else?
Brilliant.
Mm, yeah, I don't know. That's what came up first.
Yeah,
Maybe there's gonna be
absolutely.
something else.
Absolutely. Tantra is so many different things. And I think for many people, they dive in for the sacred sexuality realm because honestly, if we look around and you ask anybody what is tantra, most people are going to say sex or sexuality per se right off the top. That's just where they go. So it is frequently the path, I think, that so many of us dive into thinking it's more sacred sexuality and going to be awesome in this realm. And yet it's so much more, and it can be and is so much more. Technically, according to the tantric masters, like sex and sexuality is only about 8 to 10% of tantra, but it is the other principles that we're bringing in, even into sexuality that you were referring to there, like that acceptance.
That's what made me discover tantra, is that this sexual energy could be awakened away from the sexual organs.
Hmm.
So what I love in tantra is that it creates a safe container where you can explore with someone else things in intimacy, in tenderness, in touch, in energy, while you don't have to have sex, which for me is no penetration, no kissing. You can go very deep and very experience very beautiful, amazing things without having to do that. And I love this safe
Yeah.
container that it creates. For me, especially being still single. I mean, I've been in a relationship, so now I'm again single. So I really enjoy
Mm.
going to workshops because it's so safe for me. I love that. And yeah, and also realizing that you can have pleasure with someone else without um yeah, needing to go into sex is so rich, because then um the whole spectrum of what you can experience with someone when it comes to pleasure. So I love
You repeat that
this.
again? I don't know if I froze or you froze, but you said it's
Ah,
so
okay.
rich.
Yeah, it's tantra gave me this discovery that sex could be, no, okay. Tantra gave me this idea that pleasure with someone else could be not only through penetration, but through, everything we do in tantra, which is connection and touch, and it's so much more rich than to have an interaction with someone, because you don't need to
Mhm.
go into this penetration thing. You can already have energy orgasms without even touching each other, which is amazing. I think I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you brought in a keyword there that I think that's so important. And I think that's what you're getting at is this connection you're having with other humans when you're actually not fully even having sex, being penetrative sex, right? Or kissing, which is also an intimate act, but playing with the energies between two people just to connect,
Yeah,
just to feel alive, just to feel the power that lives within each of us and the way that we can exchange it and connect with each other in that way. And it doesn't even have to be in that sexual,
mm,
desirous way. Like I've played with Tantra with some of my best friends, playing with energy and just playing. And there is no lust or desire for each other in that way, like you would for a sexual partner. It is simply play, it is simply
yeah,
play, delicious play,
yeah,
where there's ecstatic energy flowing, which can actually be a little bit of a mind fuck for some of us. I know in the beginning it was for me, is like, whoa,
yeah.
like,
I
whoa, I
mean,
can feel my turn on. And does that mean I'm sexually attracted to you? And the answer is no. It took me actually a while to play with that. Just because we feel our turn on, we feel our life force energy, we feel the juice is that is us, that we're here with us. Just because we feel it doesn't mean we actually need or want to be in relationship in that sexual, I'm going to put air quotes on it for those who are listening. It doesn't mean we need to be in that sexual relationship with somebody. We're just simply connecting with another human.
yeah,
It's so
totally.
interesting.
It is. And yeah, it opens such a huge perspective on life that you had no idea. Um, yeah, when you
How
come
did,
out of this flirting with someone else. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, the way we've been taught we're supposed to connect with others kind of thing.
exactly.
How did Tantra change your life? What have you noticed? Like, obviously, you got to play with your sexual energy while you were in a, solo relationship, but what else did you notice? Like, what are the holy fuck moments?
Um, as I said earlier, the moment where I felt my energy field so vibrant, I thought, wow, is that me? Ugh, it was so magical. And yeah, just I've become more and more sensitive to energy and it- I don't know, it's just so much. It's but for me it's very energetical. It has created a whole world of energy within me and capacity to play with it. So it's so nice. And as you said, like experience pleasure outside of just regular intercourse. It's so good.
Yeah. And then do you pull this play of energetic, or do you notice how this energetic expansion changes your everyday life, how you relate in
Hmm.
the world?
Well, yes. I mean, when I try to tune into it in my daily life, then I feel this. Now, I hold myself differently. I uh, I feel more empowered because that's what happens when you are filled with this sexual energy, with this life force energy. You feel fearless. You feel full in your power, and it feels amazing. And you feel so very sexy and glowing. And
Hmm.
yeah, well, I don't do it every day, but when I think of it, it's really nice.
Mm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember I
So,
remember way back when, where it was like this duality where you're right. I didn't feel it every day. I was like I was either in it or I was out of it. There wasn't, it was like I had to bridge the gap between the two worlds, I felt like way back when. I feel like I have fully bridged that gap now. I did that probably about 4 years ago. Like, I live in Tantra philosophies through my everyday life. It's in my business, it's in my relationships, it's the way I converse with my children, because it's bringing in the compassion, the connection, the approval, the way of listening, being present,
mm,
being open to alternatives, catching, even being open to catching my own shit, like my own triggers, right? Or my own way of thinking. And even if I look across the board at my partner, my children, all of them, they also can recognize now, oh, I was triggered there, different things that, again, it's bringing in that compassion and that approval and that acceptance and that love and that connection, very much of a slowing down. And I think that stems from even the first person who is practicing, right? So you and me, per se, these other people in my life don't practice Tantra on
mm.
the whole. But because I do, that natural philosophy, the way of being, the way I live, is also being infused into their lives as well.
Yeah, like this aspect that you mentioned to slow down and to welcome what is, it's a huge aspect indeed. Yeah, that I learned through Tantra, um, but also through other philosophies. But yeah, it resonates.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I agree. It's a really great skill to develop in your life to
Yeah, that
accept, to slow down and accept.
yeah, this slow down, accept, approve. And yeah, it comes through many of the ancient philosophies, right? Whether we're looking at Taoism, Tantra,
Yeah.
so many different elements, ancient, I'm sure it comes into Shibari as well, right? Like, so many ancient practices, it's going to be in there, playing in there, alive in there.
Yeah, mindfulness, meditation. It's very much the same. When you do a tantric practice, it's like meditation and mindfulness. Well, both are
Hmm.
maybe, yeah, interchangeable, but whatever. Yeah.
Both end. Yeah, and it's the duality of both. And I love also, we're definitely using the chakra system with Tantra and through many of these other ancient practices that I just mentioned, right? And we're learning how to own our power in our
Mm,
different power centers, right? So for those who are listening, if you're not familiar with your chakras, like, we have our root, which would be the base, very base, cervix technically for a female identifying human, perineum for a male identifying human. And then you get to decide in between where you land, depending on what body parts you own. And then sacral chakra, which would be in the womb space, which technically even a man has an energetic womb space chakra or sacral chakra, going up into the solar plexus, which is just above the navel and below the rib cage, which again is our huge power center, a
Mm.
huge power center, especially specifically for men. That is one of their key chakras. And then moving into the heart chakra, right between the breasts, throat chakra, base of the throat, third eye, just above the eyebrows, inside in the brain, and then crown chakra at the very top of the head. So we're using also the energies and what is the word for it? I guess it's the energetic background behind each of these chakras. They each have their own energetic signature that we are using and weaving in Tantra, in tantric practices, to play with our breath, to play with our sexual energy, to become more empowered and embodied and alive in these areas. A great example is women speaking their truth from their throat chakra. A lot of the time, this can
Mm.
be very closed, very shut down.
Mm.
I know it definitely was for me for a long time, right? Not speaking my truth, not speaking up, not asking for what I need. Is there any other chakras that you have struggled with that you've noticed that you've been able to heal and integrate over the years of
Well,
practicing?
the third chakra, the solar plexus. I take my own space. Yeah, I stand proud and I take my own space. Um, and I'm not afraid to take the lead as well.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, the throat chakra for me as well, and that's why right now I facilitate often workshops on that because I see through my clients and through the workshop participants that many people, when you tell them, okay, sound, and you're like, there's
mm,
nothing, there's nothing coming. It's so close, but I know because it was the same for me. But now that I've opened it, now I'm the usually the loudest in the workshop when I'm a participant myself. I was like, and I'm like, no, it took me so long to open it. No,
yeah,
um, because it really helps to feel more pleasure. To it doesn't have to be scream or no, and yeah, it's amazing how many people cannot sound
yeah,
yet.
yeah. We've been told to
But
sit down, be quiet, all
yeah,
of these messages for so long.
yeah.
Another big one for me was a heart chakra opening. I actually can
Mm,
identify now that I've reopened it, how closed off it was for years. I think I actually really shut it down as a 5, 6-year-old and then continued to put up more bricks and more walls over the years to the point that it was like locked down like Fort Knox. Like there was like nobody getting in here, which
yeah.
that meant I wasn't fully connecting with another. I wasn't fully
Mm,
open to receiving love, to giving love fully. And it took some work to really break down those walls. I had to create that safety within myself that I would be safe and held in there. And then I was able to fully open that. And at that point, that is when I was able to call in epic love.
yeah. Well, for me, the heart was actually the first one as well. I remember because I had come out of a breakup, and that's when I discovered Tantra. So yeah, it's the same. When
Mm,
I felt that it opened, I was like, whoa, that's how it feels like to have an open heart. Yeah. So yeah, that's a big one as well, definitely. But yeah, also the first chakra, the sacral, um, it's it was quite some work to open it as well. That's why I
yeah.
came to this work. And the second chakra, well, okay, so which one didn't I have a hard time opening? Um, yeah. So, but yeah, first, second, and third, and throat and heart. Yeah. Okay. Well, almost
A
all of
lot of
them.
them. And then we get to the third eye. And,
Yeah.
that's the knowing, the infinite, knowing, which I think mixes very well. It mixes very well with our sacral chakra too, which comes into our innate inner knowing. I find they blend and I can't tell which one I'm trusting. Is it my third eye inner knowing or is it my innate inner wisdom coming from my womb space. And honestly, it doesn't matter at that point. But really, really doesn't matter. But there's so much of an opening that can happen, especially and definitely my sacral. Oh, fuck yeah, sacral had to open. But it did take coming into the heart and creating a lot of safety first and creating a lot of trust in myself to then actually fully open sacral chakra and fully drop into that creative, juicy, turned on, energetic flow that was just really grounded. I think it was actually activated a little bit for me earlier on before I created that safety, and it wasn't as grounded. But then when I really connected with heart and really opened that and allowed that to hold me, something different changed in the sacral energy. It definitely became more grounded, more embodied, more locked in.
Yeah, and when you open all these energy centers, when you are intimate with someone, you can play around with that. I love doing this practice in my workshops where you penetrate each other's chakra. So again, you don't need to touch each other. You're just with the intention, like, my second chakra will penetrate your second chakra, and you decide which one has a energetical penis, and then the other one energetical pussy, and then it's nice to play, like to switch. And then yeah, you can just visualize, feel that you are doing that, and you can do with every chakra, of course the first one as well. And it makes connect, I mean, sex, what it comes when you mix it with sex, it makes it so much more rich, because then you can
Mm.
actually penetrate each other's heart while you're being penetrated in your pussy, like physically. Like, it's like, wow. I mean, I can imagine, yeah, how it brings so many layers that are so interesting. Then you realize compared to what is possible. But that is, yeah, that's about intercourse. But yeah, in daily life, for sure, it changes a lot how you
Yeah.
live your life, definitely.
Yeah. And I was reflecting with even some clients the other day and on what, how it's changed their life. And it definitely does change the way that we show up, changes the
Mm.
way that we move through the world. It changes the way that we move through our relationships. Something that you were sharing a moment ago too about the way you can open the centers and play with the centers and penetrate the centers energetically or physically during lovemaking can be absolutely beautiful too. I have experienced like the most crazy heartgasms in the last year. And some of them bring me to tears in the moment, and not in grief, just like in awe, in holy fuck, I don't know what this is, but I only have one choice, and that is to surrender to it. And it's something I'm still processing, even though the last one was a few months ago. I was just like, whoa. Um, and it's every single time is very, very different, but it can be absolutely it just reminds me of how much more is out there that we are unaware of. Because
Yeah, it's amazing.
absolutely amazing. And that's just the
Like,
sexual realm of tantra.
yeah, yeah,
Just,
yeah,
just.
yeah, but it's almost never ending, the exploration you can go
Mhm.
into. So wow, it's ever expanding your capacity for feeling and experiencing pleasure. It's really mind blowing. Or galaxy traveling. I feel
Galaxy
like this kind of
traveling.
things. Yeah, I like the
Yeah,
subject.
I'd love to know too, how do you mix the ropes, shibari, with tantra? What do you do and play in there?
So the way I practice Shibari is very tantric, because it's about slowing down, being very present to the other, um, bringing a lot of love. You tie the person gently. There's no pain. That's not the point. And then you take care of them as a baby, and really you give a lot of love. You rock them gently, pull them, well, hold them in your heart, in your arms. You, it's a very beautiful sensorial journey for the person receiving the ropes because they have eyes closed and they can really just completely let go. And what that's what I love about the ropes is that the shibari ropes is that it when you wrap the ropes around someone, just one round, and you just pull a little bit, the whole body just it
Mm.
relaxes. It's like because it
Surrenders.
feels, yeah, it feels held, so you can just surrender, and you have nothing to do when you're being tied up except just relax and enjoy the ride. You can always talk to your partner. I think people love it so much is that you have absolutely nothing to do. just
Mm.
just enjoy. And so it's very beautiful and profound. And many times people even experience um, going back in a state of being a fetus in the womb because you're just being moved around gently, nothing to do. You just let go. You trust. Of course, it has to be with someone you trust. And yeah, so I found it really beautiful. And I think the tantric approach is the slowing down, the love that you give. You fully taking care of that person, and just going back to the senses, like really back to the senses. And with the ropes you can also play with different chakras. Actually, you can, it depends on where you make the knots, and so it can help to open more some chakras. So
Mm.
I really love it. I'm every time I'm blown away by what is possible with just ropes. Okay. I didn't know because I
Yeah.
always thought it was more BDSM, but it can be a beautiful, therapeutic, delicious journey.
So beautiful. Love that. Thank you for explaining and sharing. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to drop all of your links and information in the show notes. And in the meantime, can you also share where people could find you if they want to learn more about you?
Yeah, well, at the moment, I'm only on Facebook and Instagram. I still don't have my website. It's in progress. So yeah, I'll give you the links, and yeah, I'm spreading more and more this tantric shibari because it's so beautiful. Check it
Love
out
it.
if I come to your country. I travel a
Mhm.
lot, so
Brilliant.
yeah,
Love it. Love it.
yeah.
Love it. Well, thank you so, so much, Isa.
You're
So beautiful
welcome.
to share. Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
You're so welcome. Okay, everyone, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed getting another little taste about what Tantra can be and how it can change and move your life in the bedroom and out. And till next time, everyone.